I'd like to officially begin the last session of Cocktails of Conversation for this fiscal year. So let's go ahead and begin with a little bit of background about the scholarship, the Women's Scholarship. It is an endowed scholarship. It provides undergraduate scholarships intended to support students with demonstrated commitment to advancing women's issues and gender diversity in order to foster their success at Purdue and beyond. These endowments will provide a renewable scholarship for a student in each of the colleges on Purdue West Lafayette's campus. With that said, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Joanne Troutner, Mo Merhoff, Arlene Pinheiro, and Cassandra Koss. You can go ahead and put on their bio slides. That would be great. Thank you.
Hey, looks like mine's up first. Well, I'm Joanne Troutner, and I am a repurposed educator, and I was a chief technology officer, which is crazy for someone of my age. But it was a wonderful ride and a great career, and Purdue got me started on that. Been a business owner, been a consultant, and if you're looking at the pictures on the slide and you're going, oh my goodness, woman, what is up with you? I get it. The two Troutner kids are the two black labs that you see. That wonderful lion actually came up to our safari vehicle in Africa and positioned its tail in between the wheels. So we sat for about 25 minutes with this creature sitting there. So you know that I love to travel. I love to read. Maria asked me to say something about giving and accepting gifts. For me, it's hard to accept things. I'm much better at giving, and giving to my passion areas like the Purdue Women's Network Scholarships is just a natural. I've been the past chair of Purdue's President's Council. I'm the winner of the Student Life Distinguished Mentor Award. And I've written a book, and yes, I love animals, and I really am that short when you see me next to Zach Edie.
Everybody is.
And you're like 5'10", aren't you, Joanne?
Oh, heavens no, honey, I'm 5'5".
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess everyone to me is tall.
I can relate to that.
Lovely. I love those pictures. Thank you so much for sharing, Joanne. I appreciate that. Let me just let Patsy in. Okay, there we go. Looks like we are. I still can't get over that lion picture. I guess we're up now. It's Mo. I appreciate it.
Hi, I am Mo Merhoff. I currently live in Carmel, Indiana, but I was living in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin when I graduated from high school and came to Purdue. And I am also somebody who is a repurposed educator. I love that comment. It sounds like Joanne to me, who really believed that at one point I wanted to be a professor. And then I made several right and left turns, including working at an Institute for Experimental Toxicology and Pathology at one point. I did teach high school briefly, but I spent most of my career in not-for-profits, primarily in athletic work, working for the United States Rowing Association, and then at the end of my career before retirement, working for a Chamber of Commerce. So the pictures, the one in the upper left is my father, probably the most influential person in my life. Other than without him, I wouldn't be around. But he is standing in front of a boarding school that was called a boarding house that was called Purdue Only. And it actually is where Farmhouse Fraternity is right now. He was from Louisville, Kentucky, and he met my mom at Purdue. He is also the person who put me on my first pony when I was 7 years old. Aww. And I am still a horse owner. And that picture on the right, 2 carrots, my thoroughbred. And I included this one because she's wearing goggles. Those came from an equine ophthalmologist at Purdue School of Veterinary Science, because my mayor had a really tough eye issue. And finally, the two vets who were trying to treat her threw up their hands and said, she should go to Purdue. They have an ophthalmologist. And they did. And it turned out that what they had told me wasn't the diagnosis. Purdue said, oh, yes, it is. And we were able to fix it, but we had to keep her from messing with her eye. And we tried various things. And then the smart people crafted that kind of space age thing for her. And yeah, it saved the day. They were wonderful. Like Joanne, I am a dog aficionado. I have not been without a dachshund also since I was 7 years old. And my current one, Henry, is in the lower left corner. That was part of his Christmas photo. We also have a soon-to-be 14-year-old beagle rescue, and the two of them are quite the pair. The lower right photo is actually a place called Bled, Slovenia. When I was first there, it was still part of Yugoslavia, but maybe the neatest place I've ever seen. And I was bent on making sure that my husband Paul got there to see it, which we have done, and it looks like that. You can see clearly to the bottom of that lake. There are swans on the lake, and it just happens to have a perfect 2,000-meter course for rowers. So that's what I was doing there through a couple of different World Championship events that were in Bled. It's absolutely gorgeous. When I am not on my horse, I'm currently involved with Indiana soccer, which is ridiculous because I know really nothing about the sport except that how you make a goal. But I did work in sports marketing for a long time, and I think that's why. And I'm involved with Civic Theater, second pres in Indianapolis, and then was involved with the Library Foundation, a hospital board. So retirement for me has been marvelous, and it's allowed me to spend more time doing the things that I love to do. I was terrified I'd be bored, and I'm not. So that's a good thing.
Thank you, Mo.
Mhm.
And could you also just what you think everyone should know about giving and receiving?
It's such what's going on with the Purdue Women's Foundation is so exciting. And when the group was first together and talking about the need and the opportunity to fill that need, because, for a long time, women, I think it was just assumed that their spouse, significant other, somebody else would be the donor. It would not be the woman in the relationship or the woman in business. And that's one of the things that makes this just a marvelous opportunity to create great chances for women to help women. And I really applaud Purdue and Joanne and others who saw this need and decided that it's time to fill it. And giving doesn't just mean you're making a huge gift or a major endowment. It means you care enough to give something, anything, toward the cause to make a difference for young women. Maybe it makes the difference in their being able to be at Purdue, but it certainly makes a difference in their being able to succeed there without concerns about paying for their education.
Absolutely. Thank you. Very well said. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that. And thank you for sharing your stories.
Well,
go ahead, next slide. Stephanie, if you could, it looks like you're on, I don't know if everyone else sees it, on like full mode for the slides. Okay, is it Arlene? Because I see Cassandra's also on the other side. So is Arlene next? I believe Arlene's next.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Arlene.
Hi everybody. My name is Arlene Poehler, and I'm one of the scholarship awardees. I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I'm studying wildlife sciences, so wildlife conservation and management. I am an uprising senior, so I'm very excited. And I have been able to do a lot at Purdue, much more than I ever thought possible. I've been able to study abroad, going to Costa Rica, to Ireland, to Sweden, and that's been like one of the biggest highlights of my whole college career. I'm also doing undergraduate research with some beautiful salamanders I promise they're beautiful. They're called Eastern Hellbenders, and they're endangered in the state of Indiana, so it's very exciting to be working with them. And I'm also the current vice president for the Puerto Rico Student Association at Purdue. So I'm very happy to be able to give a little home away from home to my other friends. I got asked who was a significant influence in my life, and truthfully, my mom is the biggest influence. But after that, various women in my field, as well as women that I've like professional women that I've met around, and just like common women. Women in general are just amazing. So it's very fun to be a part of the women's networking. Um, I think giving and receiving will never look equal, and I think that's something that people should know. So if you give an apple, you'll receive a pear, and it might not look equal, but it'll be the perfect fit for what's happening. So I feel that with the Women's Network, that's mostly what I've gotten, and it's just been amazing. And a fun fact, I love frogs. Wherever I go, I'll try to find them and catch them. I also
Wow.
like keeping what?
I was like, wow.
Yeah, my mom's not very excited about it, but she stops and lets me try to catch them and go get wet and my hands dirty. And also, while I was in Sweden, I did a true Arctic plunge. So I plunged into Lake Tornstrak in the Arctic Circle in Sweden. So that's just something I love, and it's very vivid in my memory. But I'm very happy to be here and to meet most of you. So thank you.
Thank you. What fun stories that you have to share, and the inspiring words. And I'm so happy that we have women like you coming in, and going to be in these amazing positions in the future. We're so excited for you, Arlene. Thank you. Thank you so much. Cassandra, I think you're next. Oh, I think did the slide go off?
I don't think Cassandra's here.
Oh, okay. You are our featured student tonight, Arlene. So thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, ladies, for introducing yourselves. We're looking forward to getting down to our questions. So can we put everybody, I can't tell, but is everybody, they are? Okay. Pinned. Okay. We'll go ahead and start with Mo and Joanne. So the first question was, what inspired you to start donating to the Purdue Women's Scholarship Fund? Like either of you can start if you like.
Bo, if you don't mind, I'll jump in on that one.
No problem.
I had the privilege of being the chair of Women for Purdue, which was one of the precursors for Purdue Women's Network. So I got to work with this amazing group of people, many of whom are on this call, and Mo as well. And we did a bunch of work on what do we need to do? What do we want to do? And we were told by financial aid that there's a group of young women who their parents make too much money, but Purdue is expensive enough they couldn't attend. So we tried to fill that gap, and we wanted to do something for each college. And we're on a start for that. So that's why I started donating. I was privileged enough to be able to do the College of Agriculture Scholarship in name of my parents. So hence, I know Arlene really well, and I'm so proud of her. And that's why I started in.
Got it. Thank you. Joanne, because I wasn't part of that group, what year was that? When did
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I don't remember.
That's okay.
I am so not good with years.
That's
if
okay.
Kathy Malot's on the call, she would know the answer to that.
Kathy, whenever you want to jump in, let us know. That would be great. Thank you for being part of that committee that helped start all of this and put things in motion. So we are still, accepting of course donations for other scholarships to be for other colleges. So thank you. Mo, did you want to add to what Joanne said there?
Yeah, I thought that the meetings were especially interesting. because there was such a huge scope and variety of women. There was a woman, she's since moved to be with one of her sons out of the state, but Lorraine Burkhardt lived in our community at the time when she came to this meeting. I think she was 94. And she said, I'd really like to go, but I don't feel like I should drive. And I thought, no. So I picked her up, but watching her get involved with the discussion. And at one point, you know, when you have a large group of people and there, you can get to kind of an impasse. Lorraine stood up and said, now, wait a minute, I think we have to focus on the one thing we really want to do here.
Mhm.
And it was, the meetings just showcased, one, the need, and secondly, the ability that at least I did not recognize what can be done. Joanne's segmentation of this, so that we're like, okay, let's do one for a particular school. Let's take one at a time, instead of just saying, well, we'll have a pot of money and we'll just have people apply for it and give it to them. I love that. That's the way that this is being built. And it makes perfect sense. But the excitement of it and learning how many other schools had already taken this step. We felt then that like Purdue was a bit behind, and nobody likes that.
Nobody likes that. But look,
No.
all the women came to the call and have started this already. So this is wonderful.
Yep.
So thank you. Yes, finding that, like as Joanne said, finding that gap and then doing something about it. And that's what we're doing tonight. So thank you. And every day. So thank you for that. Can both of you share a personal story or experience that motivated you to give in the first place? A personal story or experience?
Now, that you don't mean just Purdue, you mean giving.
In general, a personal story
Yeah.
that or experience that, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Even
to
why I'm
me,
doing it.
yeah, to me, it's always an emotional tie, not a logical one.
Okay.
It's seeing something happening and being touched by that, and recognizing that there is an opportunity.
Right.
Both Paul and I were involved in creating an amazing, truly no-kill shelter in Hamilton County, Indiana. One of the very few in the entire Midwest. But again, it was a need, an emotional attachment, and then there's a way to do something about this. And a lot of times, to me, it isn't just that the individual writes a check or makes a contribution. It's sharing the news with enough people who can all contribute. So the larger you can throw the net, the larger the reach, the more opportunity. So that means that regardless of the level of what people choose to give, they see a need. In this case, they see what can happen with a student who gets terribly excited about a particular field, who has not only the intelligence to grasp it, but the enthusiasm to do it. And then I think for me, it's always an emotional tie, and the recognition that I'm not going to be able to fund it all, but I can fund something.
Absolutely. There's that saying that you'll always remember how others made you feel more than what others made you do, what other people had said. So that feeling, that emotional tie is very strong. So thank you for that. Joanne, would you like to add something to that question?
I'm going to go a slightly different
Okay,
route.
sure.
I'm going to talk about who first motivated me to do this.
Okay.
And that would be my mom and dad. I watched my dad volunteer for the community. He was a farmer, and farmers handle a lot of money, but they don't actually have a lot of money. So he gave a lot of time to the community. Many activities, helped with student organizations, helped with the Lions Club, all of those types of things. And my mother was of a generation that she had a college degree. Now, this is back right after the Depression. So that is kind of a little rare. And she always said to me, to whom much is given, much is required. And I think many of
Mhm.
us have heard that
Mhm.
before. And that's just, of course, you're going to give. It's what you do. And I will echo Mo's, it's what you're passionate about. And
Mhm.
we're both passionate about Purdue
Thank
and
you.
helping women succeed.
Thank you. And that's both of you are doing right now. We haven't forgot you, Arlene. Let's ask a question to you. How has this scholarship influenced your ability to focus on your studies or extracurricular activities?
So maybe a little more information than asked, but I'm under the Troutner scholarship. So at the beginning of freshman year, I saw it on my Purdue financial aid. I had no idea what was going on. I had moved for the first time from the island, and then I got an email from Joanne, and it was an email that wasn't under Purdue. And I called my mom, and I was like, "Mom, I'm getting this email. This person wants to meet with me. I don't know." And she's like, "Just go for it." And I was like, "But what? It's a stranger." And she's like, "No, go for it. You should email back." And I was like, "Okay." And then I met Joanne for coffee, and we've just been doing this thing every semester that we meet, and I get to talk to Joanne about what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I want to do. And she's just been such a great mentor. So additional to the financial aid, which is just given is lightened a burden, very big burden that's very true for so many students on the day-to-day. I've also gotten an amazing friendship and mentorship from Joanne. She's pushed me just as my mom pushes me. She supported me the same way. She's just said hi to everything I've done and welcomed me with open arms. So I feel like besides the money, it's been mostly my relationship with Joanne that has catapulted me. She introduced me to the Ag Week at Purdue, and that's how I got my first foot in the door as to like what a big organization at Purdue is, how to just handle the waters of Purdue with education and like being in different communities and just interact with Purdue as a whole. So that's just been the best thing that I've taken back from being able to be here. And other women that I've met through Joanne as well. We went to luncheons with the Women's Network, and that has also been very fun. So yeah, I feel like that would be my answer to the question regardless.
Thank you for providing the context. Joanne can be scary, can't she? Not at
Thanks, my
all.
dear.
We just love you, Joanne, so much. She is amazing. And she will just reach out to anyone and everyone. It's like, you have a student, they need to talk to somebody, give me here. You can have them contact me. I mean, she's just been so open about that. So I appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you for helping with that answer. I believe Cassandra joined the call. Did she? I can't tell because I'm using my phone.
Hi, yes.
Hi, yes. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so very sorry. I'm sorry. I got the times mixed up.
No, we are good. You should have seen the kind of things I had to go through to finally get on this call. So we're so good. I appreciate you. Would you mind just backing up a little bit and maybe providing some context? I don't know, Stephanie, if you're able to pull up her slide while she's introducing herself, but that would be great because I think you provided some really cool pictures. Thank you. There we go. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Go ahead, Cassandra.
Okay, so hi, I'm Cassandra Cross. I will be a sophomore at Purdue in the fall. Some accomplishments is that I got the Illinois State Scholar in 2023, which was a huge honor. And then I also got the AAU Academic All-American in 2022, which I was thrilled about. Some fun facts are I taught myself how to knit a blanket, which was super fun to learn, maybe a little aggravating at times, but I learned through videos, and I really enjoy it. It's a really fun pastime, and I also enjoy doing crosswords. I suppose I kind of got that from my grandma, so I love doing those in my free time. And a significant influence on me would be my mom. My mom is she's a good one. I got lucky. She does so many things for me and has taught me so much. So I would say that a significant influence on me is her.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't know, I can't see the fun fact. Can you give us another fun fact?
Another one?
Yeah. I put you on the spot there.
Yeah, that's fine. I own 2 dogs. My
Okay,
oldest,
that's what I was waiting for because we're all dog lovers here.
my oldest is Hunter. He's 12 and he has diabetes, so he's my old
Oh.
man. But still love him. He's still doing good. And my younger one is Sadie. She is 6 years old, but she still behaves like a puppy. She's a little
Mhm.
crazy, I will admit. I did pick her out, so that's my fault, but she does have a very strong personality, so that one she's a tough one, but she's also adorable. So
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yep, we all had to introduce our dogs at the very beginning. So I love always hearing about the stories about the dogs. So thank you. I'll go ahead and let you answer your question. The question here is actually it was here. How has this scholarship influenced your ability to focus on your studies or extracurricular? Yeah.
Yeah, so also really quick, I see in the chat what was Cassandra's sport. I played volleyball. I played volleyball for most of my life. Yeah, so it was a huge part of my life with club. We used to travel a lot, which is actually how I got introduced to Purdue. So it was fate. It worked out. Um yeah, so for the impact it's kind of had on me, it's no secret that college is a humongous expense. And it wasn't until sort of looking into college that I realized this is a lot. It's a big undertaking. And I was lucky enough to not really have to worry about finances growing up, which is incredibly lucky. But as this college time rolled around, I realized it's big. It's huge. It's a huge ask on my parents, and it's also a huge responsibility on me. So, of course, going to Purdue and living there, I knew that I was very lucky to be there and that my parents were giving a lot for me to be there. So, receiving the scholarship was a huge kind of thankfulness to me, but also to my parents to kind of say thank you because they do a lot for me. So it meant a lot, and being able to just focus on school, which I do commit a lot of time to and I love doing, and extracurriculars at Purdue. I was able to pick up a job working at Purdue, which I love, because I got to meet so many new people and like interacting with people and also coworkers. I got to meet a ton of people that I normally wouldn't. So it really meant a lot to me at the end of the day.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cassandra.
Thank you.
I'm curious, Mo and Joanne, have you had the opportunity to meet the parents of scholars, of the students? Why are you laughing?
I have not. No.
I did get to meet Arlene's mother.
Oh,
One of the very first, I think it was the first scholarship banquet that the College of Ag did that I attended. I got to meet Arlene's mother and adore her. She would fit in with our Purdue Women's Network so well. She is an amazing woman that has an amazing career in Puerto Rico, working in utilities, if I'm correct, Arlene.
My mom works. She works for the federal government, but yeah.
Just admit, so yes, short answer is yes. I've had the privilege of meeting her mother.
wonderful, wonderful. It's always nice to see, the parents and who brought up these amazing women, right? That led them here to this university. So was just curious about that. So thank you. How about you, Mo? Were you able to meet any of the parents or family members?
No.
No. Okay. Maybe in the future, be able to. Because there was this banquet that allowed that to happen, I believe, Joe. So, okay, awesome. Let's ask another question here. So if this is for Mo, how do you prefer to stay engaged with the organizations you support, like the Purdue Women's Network?
Say that again. How do I stay engaged?
Yeah, how do you prefer to stay engaged?
Oh, okay. I'm kind of a fact junkie as far as seeking out ways to figure out what's going on. So obviously, there's just an awful lot through social networking that is out there that you can follow. Purdue does a good job with that, I think, particularly among their alumni base of
Mhm.
keeping people in touch with not only events, but what's happening and lauding, kind of things that happen that are landmarks, things that
Mhm.
happen that are are a positive change. Just because I worked for rowing, I have stayed in touch with Purdue Crew.
Mhm.
And they do, most of the activities on campus do a great job of newslettering and sending out materials to let you know how people are doing and what they're doing.
Mhm. Mhm. Can you share with the audience certain resources that you use or that you rely on to get your information about Purdue?
Yeah, one, just university outreach that they do. Also individual school
Mhm.
information. So whatever, and even if you're not a part of perhaps engineering department, I have a great nephew who is at the moment. So there are ways you can connect through each of the schools
Mhm.
and each of the alumni groups in the same
Mhm.
way. So that's primarily how I try to figure out where people are and what their needs are by individual schools and individual efforts.
Thank you. And thank you for that. Gives me an opportunity here to kind of remind everyone that Purdue for Life on Purdue Connect, you can actually tell us what information you want. If you want information about the Purdue Women's Network, if you want information about President's Council, and you can actually opt in to get all the emails, information about those different groups. And so there's a huge list of that. So it's Purdue Connect. So if you go to Purdue for Life, you go Purdue Connect, there's a way that you can go in and opt in your communication preference. So just throwing that in there. Joanne, organizations or groups that you support? You're muted. Yeah. Thank you.
You froze up on my screen. I didn't hear the
Yes.
whole question.
Oh, okay. Oh, a similar question to Mo is how do you prefer to stay engaged with the organizations or groups that you support?
Living as close as I do to campus, I have an advantage. As you can tell, I'm the person that loves to mentor students. So I'm always the one, like you said, going, you got somebody that I need to talk to? I'm there. Here we go.
Yeah.
Mo gave a great set of options. The other one that I would add to that list is Purdue Today. It helps you see what's going on, what's happening. So I like to be engaged. I like to have people provide me information of students who receive scholarships or who've received something that is a part of something I've donated to, so I can reach out and be involved with that.
Okay.
Not that those people aren't busy, but if they have time to meet with me, I certainly appreciate that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, Purdue Today. And also if you're on social media, make sure that you're connected with Purdue for Life, Purdue University. They're constantly having social media feeds are busy under our new president. And so they're always and there's a lot of great things going on right now at the university. So those are good resources as well. So thank you both for that. Back to the students. Let's see. How have you been able? Nope, I'm not going to do that one. Can you give a specific example on how you were able to pursue with the help of what you were able to pursue something in particular with the help of this scholarship? Just an example. I know you were able to pursue a lot of different things. I think you listed that in one of your intros, but if you could maybe go more in depth in a particular activity that you were able to do because of the scholarship. Either of you can take it on. Okay, Arlene.
Okay. As I mentioned before, I I was on the task force for agriculture, like Ag Week, for 2 years. So Ag Week is this whole event. It's a week-long event that's put on just by students. Basically, it's about a group of 20 students, all years. And I would have never have known about it if it wasn't for Joanne and Molly. So thanks to them, I applied. Um, which is kind of funny because I had gone right after a class to my interview, and I had a Looney Tunes cartoon shirt on, as students do. And I went in, I was like, "Well, this is an interview, I'll just be myself." That's what Molly and Joanne said. So I was literally myself. Cartoon shirt, jeans, raggy shoes, as Purdue students have walking around campus. And I went in, I interviewed, and they were so nice. So, like, everybody was so nice. The questions they asked me, what would you think could be different in agriculture here at Purdue? And I don't come from an agricultural background or anything. So I told them the truth about it, what I had felt, what I had seen, being an ag, being from Puerto Rico, from the city, and all these things. And then when I walked out, I see this one kid that was in his whole suit. And I was like, oh, bye bye Ag Week, I guess. I didn't even know there was nothing. I was like, well, that was about it. And then I walked away and I got an email that I actually was being offered the position to be a part of the task force. And I got to meet a lot of people. I got to meet President Mitch Daniels. And I would have never have known about it if it wasn't for my connection to Joanne and the scholarship and the different activities. So that was very fun. And I learned so much with them. And it's great. You guys should stop by Ag Week if you have the chance. You should. It's really fun.
Is Ag Week?
It's usually in April. They changed it this year to like one of the first week of April. But
Okay.
yeah, just stick around their social media. It's very fun.
Absolutely. So there's something to be said to be your genuine self and wear your Looney Tune shoes. I mean t-shirt and your shoes and got it. Thank you. And networking and doing something out of your comfort zone, right? And meeting new people, etc. So thanks, Arlene. Cassandra, would you like to share a particular
Yeah.
experience? Thank you.
Mine, I'm going to say is going to be more of a future thing because I'm going to be honest, coming into a new community was really hard for me. I was not sure at all at first. I was like, I'm not sure if I belong here. Of course, I made friends, but it was still iffy for me. But I have to say that at the point that I was with getting the scholarship, it really made me feel more confident in the community, I think, and just my place in it, and that I am wanted here. And it made me feel really lucky to be here, even. So I'd say that it's more for the future, and that I plan on, of course, keeping my job next semester, but also getting more involved in the community, I'd say. I'd really like to put myself out there more with joining clubs or events. So I'd say it really gave me some confidence to be able to feel like I am a part of the community and that I am an important part and that I do belong here. And I also wanted to touch on a question that was in the chat earlier. I'm sorry I didn't see it. But I believe the question was about what's like the most interesting course I've taken. And I am going to say my Com 114 course, I'm a communications major. And Com 114 was the first communications class that I took. And let me tell you, public speaking is very nerve-wracking for me. So when I found out that this would be my first communications class and it would be a presentation class, needless to say, I was very nervous. Um, but I actually ended up loving the course. I have to say, was I scared most of the time? Yes, but it was a good experience and a good feeling. And I feel like I grew a lot during the course. From our first assignment was to just get up there and tell a story about our lives. And I was so nervous, shaking. And then to our last assignment was a group assignment, actually. And I felt way more confident. And we actually got to speak about actual issues that we saw in the community and got to do really good research. So I'd have to say that that was probably the most interesting and or favorite course that I've taken.
Thank you. As Sharon said in the chat, yay for confidence building and all these different activities that allowed you. And tonight, I should have given you like 10 minutes of presentation, but no, I won't do that. I'll put you on the spot in about 2 minutes when we have to do Never Have I Ever. So we're going to wrap this up. I can't believe we have only 9 minutes left. This went really, I know, Joanne. I know, Mo. So I'll leave it for the women. For Mo and Joanne, what advice would you give to someone considering donating to the Purdue Women's Scholarship Fund? Mo, would you like to start?
I'm sorry, would you say it again?
Yes, of course. What advice would you give to someone considering donating to Women's Scholarship?
Well, that there are all kinds of resources to find out more. You're seeing a lot of those people right here, and they're anxious to share. So it reach out to people with questions. Anytime anybody's asking you to give to anything, don't you want to know more about where your money's going and what that means? Other than just, well, there's a scholarship. Yeah, but how are they chosen, and what's the process, and how will my money work? And the people you are seeing around the screen here can answer those questions for you, and maybe help guide you into where what might make the most difference by finding out what your school was, what classes meant the most to you, what are experiences you remember with a particular activity or a particular professor. So it's find out more, and then it gives you it will lead you towards what makes the most sense for you.
Thank you. Perfectly said. I appreciate that. Thank you. Joanne.
I would come back to what I said earlier, your passions. Obviously, the College of Ag for me was a passion because that's how I grew up. I'm a graduate of the College of Liberal Arts, as is Mo. So we obviously have given to that scholarship. Yes, we all introduced our dogs, and any of you who know me know that the Troutner kids have always been four-legged furry animals. So vet med is another one. So where's your passion? That's where you go.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just your dogs. I know they're all black, aren't they? I can't remember. I remember your post. Okay, but thank you. I appreciate that. But to students, I'm going to have two different questions here. One is, what advice would you give to other students considering applying for this scholarship? And another question is, what message would you like to convey to the donors who have given towards the scholarship? Cassandra, why don't you go first? What advice would you give to students considering applying? And then the other one, or pick one or the other, or what message would you like to give to Mo or Joanne and others that have contributed toward the scholarship?
So, firstly, for students looking to apply to this scholarship, I'd say to just put yourself out there really with the things that you do every day, or academically, or really anything. I think that the more that you give your time to things, the better. And if you could do things that benefit others, and even just to show kindness every day, I think that makes such a little difference. If you could just brighten someone's day, I think that's really a great thing to be able to do. And I try, well, if I'm home, then maybe I'll try to help my mother. But if you're out and about, just to try to help or brighten at least one person's day, I think that's great. So I think just putting yourself out there really, and just being a positive, really person, I guess.
Awesome.
And to the donors, of course, obviously, thank you so much. It does mean a lot as a student who, obviously, we're paying to be here, and it's a lot of money. And I'm just very grateful to even be able to attend a college to get my degree, and to be able to go to, obviously, Purdue. It's an amazing university and campus, and to get to experience all the things, including being woken up on campus by the train. As annoying as it can be, it really does add to the experience. Going to the games and everything, it's a really great environment, and I have grown to love being on campus. I've been home for a little more than a week, and I miss it. I'm already planning for next year. Like,
Love
thank
it.
you so much for the opportunity and to relieve some of the heavy burden that is placed upon going to college. Thank you.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you, Cassandra. Arlene?
So I'm gonna echo everything that Cassandra
Mhm.
said. Truthfully, thank you to the donors. There was no possible way that I could have even stepped foot on campus, or like go on study abroad or make great connections with my professors and my friends and leave my little digital footprint on Purdue
Mhm.
campus if it wasn't for all the scholarships and all the help that we get along the way. It's a hard world out there, and without people like you guys to help us and lead us and just help us reach our voice, there would be no way to possibly do it. There's just so many barriers for everything. So thank you. And yeah, we students take home more than you think. I promise that happens. So I know our generation can seem a little aloof, as I've heard other people say, but
Oh.
we really do take home way more than you believe. And you can see it in the way that we do stuff towards. So, for example, how we interact with others. It's just been
Mhm.
shaped by people like you guys. So, thank you so much.
I can just say I am so excited for the future. I mean, it's the future is our women, seriously. And you two are amazing examples and something that we have a lot to look forward to. So I really appreciate that. Joanne and Mo, we really appreciate you being here this evening. Thank you.